Hello everyone, Blackbox here. In this video I'll be explaining to you the de-icing procedure. Now we are in Geneva and as you can see it's snowing. Outside temperature is at -2 degrees Celsius. So the easy decision has been made that we will require de-icing of the aircraft before we take off. There is of course a checklist for de-icing and that's what I'll show you in this video. So we have already ordered the de-icing trucks, which should be arriving very soon. Now before we get into the checklist and the procedure, I'll give you a quick overview regarding de-icing. Now company procedures require that all aircraft aerodynamic surfaces have to be clean for takeoff. And that means that even a thin coat of frost on the wings or the elevators, ailerons and so on have to be de-iced before departure. De-icing can be done in a one-step procedure or a two-step procedure. Also, you have to differentiate between the de-icing process and the anti-icing process. Now, the de-icing process is a process where you remove the contaminants from the aircraft surface. The anti-icing procedure is used to delay the new buildup of contamination on the aircraft surfaces. There are several different types of de-icing fluids and also different concentrations of these fluids. For example, type 1 de-icing fluid contains about 80% glycol and 20% water. Usually the type 1 de-icing fluid is colored orange and has a relatively short holdover time. So it'll be used mostly when there's no or very little precipitation present. Also, the type 1 has a very low viscosity and so it'll flow off the wings as soon as an airflow is present. Type 2 anti-icing fluids have about 50% glycol and 49% water, and then they'll have 1% thickener, which gives them a higher viscosity. Now type 2 fluids are usually pale yellow or transparent in color. And of course they have a slightly higher holdover time than the type 1 fluids. Type 4 anti-icing fluids have 50% glycol and 48% water and then 2% thickener in it. These fluids are usually in green color and have a lot better holdover times than type 2 or type 1 fluids. Now, since we have some snowfall, we'll use the type 4 fluid today and a 75% concentration. To give you a guideline, that'll give us about 30 to 45 minutes of holdover time. Okay, enough said. Let's have a look at the de-icing, anti-icing checklist. So before applying any fluid, we'll check that the cabin pressure mode selector is in auto. Next, we'll switch off the engine bleed 1 and engine bleed 2. Now we're doing this even though the engines aren't running at this point. Okay, then APU bleed off. So with this we've made sure that no more pressurized air will get into the cabin. Next, ditching push button on. Now this simple switch closes all open outflow valves and thus preventing any fluids from entering the cabin. Okay, so the last point on the checklist is thrust levers check idle. Okay, so now we can report aircraft ready for de-icing, anti-icing.
confirm aircraft is ready for treatment.
Like I said before, we'll choose the Type 4 75% fluid.
We begin treatment now and observe fluid type 4 concentration at 75%. I will call you back when ready. Deicing and anti-icing completed. Anti-icing code is fluid type 4 concentration at 75%. I am disconnecting. Good day.
Okay, we'll continue with our checklist. After completion of de-icing, anti-icing procedure, ditching push button off. Outflow valve check open. It's open. Engine bleed 1 and engine bleed 2 on. Ground equipment remove and de-icing, anti-icing report receive. Okay, so we can see the ground equipment has been removed and we have already received our de-icing, anti-icing report. And now we just wait a few minutes before we switch on the APU bleed air again. Now in real life you'd wait about 5 minutes before using the APU bleed air again, and that is to avoid any de-icing fluid being ingested by the APU air intake. Okay, so that completes the de-icing, anti-icing procedure. If you have any questions, just post them in the comment section below. I promise I'll answer them as quickly as I can. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video and happy landings. I'll see you in the next one.